BGMC. The biblical truth lives here.
The ancient Hebrew scriptures foretold of the Anointed One, Yeshua HaMashiach. The Messiah Yeshua came to call the people back to the truth of His word and to follow that righteous path. Yeshua then called Jewish men to be His disciples, and after His death and resurrection, those Jewish men told the world about the Jewish Messiah. Now, after 2,000 years, Beth Goyim Messianic congregation has that same calling of those Jewish men, telling all people, both Jew and Gentile, about the proper ancient path, teaching the Route 66 King's Highway from Genesis through to Revelation, and how you need and can get back to the proper roots of the faith and a closer walk with God. Now, let's hear the message.
Let's go get a blessing. We are doing the 613 commandments, where this is message P223. 223, the Mitzvoh, 613, experience of a lifetime. And as we always start off with these teachings, so that each and every one of them can stand on its own, and to let everybody know that Yeshua didn't get rid of the law, He confirmed it. We always start in Matthew 5, verse 17 and 18 for each one of these teachings. Matthew 5, verse 17 and 18, don't think that I've come to abolish the Torah or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to complete. Yes, indeed. I tell you that until heaven and earth pass away, not so much as a yod or a stroke will pass from the Torah, not until everything that must happen has happened. Okay, Yeshua said not until heaven and earth pass away. So, following the commandments of the Father in heaven, Avinu, our Father, is a good and blessing to do. He would never get rid of them, for why would He have ever given us something that was bad? Or why would He think people in another time were smarter where they could follow them? And Yeshua confirms that, being the Son of the Father, He confirms that we are to keep the commandments in Matthew 5:18. As we move on to the next slide, there's many times where Gentiles in the church is saying that the laws don't apply to the Gentiles. Well, that is a downright and outright lie. Okay, that is a lie from the pit of Sheol. And here are three scriptures. I'll just reference them without reading them in totality. I'll read one in totality. Exodus 12, verse 19, Shemot 12, verse 19, Shemot 12, verse 49, that's Exodus 12, 49, and Vayikra, Leviticus 24, 16. Okay, now let's read 24, 16. So for those people who say that the law is dead, or was nailed to the cross, or we're no longer under it, then I want you to listen carefully to this particular verse in the Torah. And whoever blasphemes the name of Jehovah must be put to death. The entire community must stone him. The foreigner as well as the citizen is to be put to death if he blasphemes the name. So how are we going to put the foreigner to death if he doesn't know the law or isn't under the law? Okay? The law is good. The law is what separates us from the Muslims. The law is what separates us from the Hindus. The law is what separates us to be holy. For Yeshua said, be holy, for I am holy. Okay? That's what Kepha writes about Yeshua. So here, blasphemy, this will get you kicked out of the community. You will be stoned to death, and the Lord will not let you into heaven. So this law is for the Jew and the foreigner, the Goyim. Anybody who's not from the seed of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov will be not let into heaven if they blaspheme the name. So here it is very important to understand that the law does apply directly to the Jew and the Gentile. Moving on to the next slide. What we have broken the law down into is 34 separate categories with the Torah. But Torah means instructions from the Father, Yehovah. perfect directions from a loving Father, perfect laws to live our life by. Okay? So they're instructions, directions, and laws. They're not bad, they are good, for our Father in heaven would never have given us something that is bad. Now, the understanding now that we need to fully understand is that they're broken into different categories. Everybody is not responsible for every commandment, okay? The reason being, there are some for men, some for boys, some for fathers, some for husbands, some for old men, some for young men, some for going into war, some laws for women, some laws for girls, some laws for women that are having their menstrual cycle, some laws about eating, some laws about the temple, okay? There are certain things that we do not have to follow, because if you're not a woman, then men, you don't really have to worry about having a period, because you don't. It's that simple. So those laws for having one menstrual cycle would not be applicable to me unless I am married. But if I'm single, then it really doesn't apply to me. So the 613 laws apply as a whole, but you have to figure out which categories are you implicated in.